cliffhanger going into this episode was who's the new authority figure going to be? And I maintain that this was just not a compelling hook for the show. The whole authority figure role in general is such a tired concept at this point, and frankly, I thought there were fresher stories to tell with Impact not having one. But I tried to keep an open mind here. I figured maybe they'll have something interesting planned for this. And they really didn't. Dixie starts us off, and sure enough, she barely gets one sentence out before she starts trying to hold back tears. Again. Seriously, what is it with that? So after a few minutes of this, before Dixie actually does start crying for realsies, she brings out Bully Ray.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Okay, there's a lot wrong with this. Bully Ray, the guy who put Dixie through a table and broke her back. Also, there was this little matter a while ago where Bully spent a pretty lengthy period trying to destroy Dixie's company with a biker gang. This is the guy that Dixie has put in charge of the show? Probably not what I would have done in her place. Yeah, sure, Dixie is a face now, but is she stupid? If I had my own company and some guy tried to destroy it and then came this close to crippling me, am I going to then put this guy in charge of my company under any circumstances? Yeah, I don't think so. So you were already taking this with a huge grain of salt, and then it gets even more ridiculous when Bully says that this happened after Dixie called him and apologized to him. Bully Ray put Dixie through a table, broke Dixie's back, and she apologized to him. Just think about that for a minute. I didn't even know what to make of that, but frankly, it made me a little uncomfortable. You know, I think about this, and I think about some of the other angles that the Dixie Carter babyface character has been involved in over the last few years, and it kind of makes me wonder about her views on societal roles and gender politics if she keeps signing off on stuff like this. It's weird. So, yeah, any way you look at it, this Bully Ray thing is a really hard sell. Ironically, I actually do think this is a really good role for him. But the only way you can rationalize it from a storytelling perspective is if Dixie has pretty much lost her damn mind. Here's a crazy thought. Just putting this out there. You want an authority figure that might generate some interest, might be something new and different, might get some mainstream attention? Make Billy Corgan the authority figure. Maybe he doesn't want to be an on-screen character, but hell, at least with him there'd be some intrigue about what he might do. With Bully Ray, I just feel like it's going to be more of the same stuff we've seen before. We had a completely random multi-man X Division title match, and once again, Grado was in it, because TNA hate me.
Oh my God, he's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke!
Please give the X Division a damn storyline already. You can do all the random spot fest matches you want, but if there's never any story behind it, people aren't going to care, and the X Division will just stay in the same state of limbo that it's been in for ages now.
Oh, you were not aware of this?
Now, I don't know what this business of Tigre Uno supposedly addressing Donald Trump next week is going to be about, but it's something. Some kind of an angle, some kind of story possibly. And it actually does sound like it might be topical, so I'm intrigued by this. Let's see what they've got here. And never put Grado in an X Division title match ever again, goddammit.
This alleged superstar is an unworthy opponent.
I felt really split about this knockout segment and the title change at the end of it. On the one hand, I absolutely think Brooke was the right person to win the Knockouts title from Taryn Terrell, but I can't help feeling like it happened too soon, since Taryn's title reign had been going so well and had not gotten stale at all yet, in my opinion. Plus, they really should have built up this rivalry more and put the match in a more high-profile spot. As it is, this felt like an anticlimax. However, even though I wanted Taryn to hold the title for a while longer, if you think about it, what else could she do with it, really? She went through Gale, went through Kong, so after Brooke, she had no compelling opponents left. It was either lose the title to Brooke or break up the dollhouse and feud with Jade, and the time wasn't nearly right for that. So while I feel like Taryn losing the title was a bit premature, I don't know if there was anywhere else that she could go with it. They could have extended the feud with Brooke for a little longer, and I wish they had, but that's about it. But all told, Brooke is the new Knockouts champion, and I'm definitely cool with that. The thing is, though, who the hell does Brooke feud with now? She spent the last several weeks getting over on the dollhouse, and they're the only heels worth a crap in the knockout division. So where do you go with Brooke from here? I don't know. But if she's just gonna feud with Angelina or Madison or, God help us, Velvet, her title reign could lose its luster real quick. So I was a little conflicted about all this. And then there was the segment itself, which I didn't think came off as well as it could have. Not nearly. The match wasn't bad, but I thought it was a little sloppy, actually. And with this being the match that ended the title run of the longest reigning Knockouts champion ever, it seemed pretty underwhelming to me. They could have given it more time. Neither of them broke out any big moves. It didn't really feel special like it should. Maybe that's because the ending hinged so much on the return of Gail Kim to put it over the top, and I just thought the Gail reveal was a swing and a miss. First, with it being disappointing that she was the one behind those creepy videos, and now with her being able to magically teleport like The Undertaker? What?
This is unbelievable. This doesn't make any sense.
Look. Unless you happen to be The Undertaker, that gimmick is just kind of silly. Hell, it's silly when Taker does it, but at least with him there's an allowance for that type of stuff. With Gail, I really don't buy it. Good for her trying to do something different at least, but I don't know if this is going to work for me. And what's more, I'm not terribly interested in seeing Gail get revenge on Taryn. I don't see what can be gained from that. What, Gail getting put over again? Who does that really benefit at this point? No one, that's who. God bless Gail, but it's 2015, damn it. It's time for a new generation of knockouts to be in the spotlight. And it's hard for that to happen if Gail is always there. Gail is great. She's terrific, but there comes a time when keeping her ensconced at the top of the division is just counterproductive. And if you ask me, we've reached it.
Oh, my brother! Testify!
Easily the best thing on this show was the sit-down interview with Ken Anderson where he's talking about how Bram laid him out last week. The segment was well produced. I really liked how Anderson wasn't his usual boisterous, jokey self. He was uncharacteristically serious and cryptic, not at all like he normally is. We saw a different side of Anderson here, and it actually made me really interested in seeing a feud between him and Bram. Funny how simple that can be when it's done right, isn't it? I was sorry to hear about Kurt Angle's medical situation. Apparently that was a shoot. So there's not much you can do about that except just get it taken care of. But I didn't think Eric Young coming out was necessary. I wasn't a fan of the feud with Angle, and I don't care to see any more of it, nor do I want to see him continue to feud with Chris Melendez. It never seemed like that had much of a point to it other than just giving Melendez a reason to be on TV, and, well, you guys already know my thoughts on that. And one hard edit later, we're watching a Slammiversary match. Thanks for nothing, Hernandez.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
I don't have a whole lot to say about that situation. There's not much I want to say about it, except that the fact it happened at all is absolutely ridiculous. I think whatever brain trust in the legal department who let them put Hernandez on TV without confirming his Lucha Underground contract status should be fired immediately, and I think TNA should be completely embarrassed about this.
You people are fools!
Now, I didn't want them to bring Hernandez back in the first place, so I'm not angry that he won't be there, but I am very angry for the other wrestlers whose jobs were affected by this. I'm angry about all the weeks of TV that were affected by this, And quite frankly, I hope this blunder burns Hernandez's bridge with TNA once and for all. You're still under contract with Lucha Underground, big man? Good. Just stay there.
Now forever leave my presence. Leave this ring, leave this building, leave the state. I think you should be exiled from the United States of America.
After a heavily edited Battle Royal earlier in the night, we get EC3 defending the world title against Drew Galloway in the main event. I've never much cared for Battle Royal matches, and I guess we have Hernandez to thank for why it wasn't produced better than it was. But Drew winning made sense, I suppose. They've lost a lot of people, so they need to elevate some new guys. And it was kind of funny how this played out, with Drew winning the qualifier in an early segment, and then EC3 waiting until the main event to let him have his title shot, being sure to give Drew a good long rest before he had to face our Lord of Wrestling. Now compare this to what happened on Raw, when Cena, like a total heel, took advantage of an exhausted challenger, having Rusev's US title match when Rusev had just wrestled a grueling qualifier moments before. All of a sudden, EC3 is a bigger babyface than John Cena. How did that happen? The match was passable, but nothing remarkable. The bigger story here was the Eli Drake heel turn, which was so telegraphed you might as well have just had him come out yelling into a megaphone, "I'm about to stab Drew Galloway in the back!" I mean, geez, Helen Keller could have seen that one coming, so there were no surprises here. I am interested in what they do with Eli Drake now, though. From what people tell me, he does really good work as a heel, so that sounds promising. I just wish they could have come up with a way of turning him that wasn't so freaking obvious. Honestly, I thought this episode was kind of a mess. The Bully Ray thing was a big stretch. Developments with Brooke and Eli Drake may have been the right calls to make, but faltered due to poor execution. And the Hernandez situation was an embarrassment that threw a huge monkey wrench into the show, and as I understand it, will continue to do so for another several weeks at least. Get your shit together, TNA. Delivering shows like this right now just is not going to cut it. Whatever crap you need to deal with, get it done already, before the audience you still have loses their patience. Over. Out.